Today, I'm going to be scuba diving around the island of Kauai, and today's adventure is going to take me through underwater lava tubes and face to face with Hawaii's most iconic animals. The island of Kauai is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Between its stunning mountains and scenic beaches, Kauai is a paradise. However, beyond these scenic beaches lies some of the best diving in North America. Kauai has crystal clear visibility and warm water year-round, but that's not what makes the diving so great here. It's the fact that you can swim through underwater lava tubes, interact with more sea turtles than you can count, and come across some of the strangest looking ocean animals. All of this together is what brought me to the island, and I was super excited to explore the island's coolest dive sites. Now, throughout this whole trip, you guys have watched me do a lot of snorkeling and a lot of free diving around the island. However, today is my only actual day of scuba diving here in Kauai. Now, my excitement level for today's dive is through the roof. The underwater structures and geography around the island here are absolutely insane. I've already gotten a little bit of a taste of it with all of the snorkeling and free diving I've done. However, today I'm going to be exploring spots that are known to have a lot of sea turtles and known to house a lot of marine life. The only bad part is that I have to drive to the complete other side of the island to get to the dive shop. This is going to be one of my best diving adventures ever on my channel, so let's see what happens. So right now I'm driving next to the Jurassic Ranch here in Kauai, and that's where the famous first dinosaur scene in the movie Jurassic Park happened, right in those fields right there. But eventually I reached the dive boat and it was time to head out on the water. Our first dive site of the day was Fishbowl, which gets its name from the fact that it's notorious for having an insane amount of marine life. Once we got out there, we discovered that the conditions were on our side, which means the dive should be great. I hopped in and descended down to the bottom at around 60 feet, and I was immediately surrounded by so many fish. Goatfish, triggerfish, and snapper were everywhere around me. But just a few minutes in, I caught something out of the corner of my eye, and it was this giant sea turtle. I started recording, and when I looked up, I discovered that there was a total of 3, all of which pretty good size. Before I knew it, I was getting face to face with all 3 of them. We then swam over towards the ledge underwater, and this is where all of the fish were gathered. I've never seen schools of fish quite like this in Hawaii before. It was just so cool. I even discovered this crown of thorns sea star. This is an invasive species in Hawaii, and is problematic in a lot of different places around the world. So what exactly makes this sea star so bad? Well, they essentially eat the reef. And if their numbers are strong in certain areas, they can completely decimate a reef over time. But it's not like you can just pick one up and move it off the coral if you see one, because this sea star is covered in venomous spikes, and if you are spiked, you'll be injected with a neurotoxic venom. But moving on, I explored some more of the drop-off, where I was surrounded by so many different fish, and I captured some awesome footage in the process. The dive was closing in on 70 minutes, but I still had over 1,000 psi of air left. So the dive master kept me down for a few more minutes to explore some more of the reef. However, all of a sudden I saw the dive master making a hand signal for octopus. So I quickly swam over and saw this Hawaiian octopus in the coral. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen an octopus before. It's something that's always been on my bucket list. Eventually I got myself stationed on the reef to get an up close shot, and that's when I got inked. Now this is a defense tactic an octopus will use. The ink will create a distraction, and it gives them time to escape from a possible predator. It's one of the coolest features in the entire animal kingdom. A few minutes later I discovered him again on this coral head, where I got to film the unique swimming behavior of an octopus. This encounter was so cool, but eventually my air was running really low. So it was time to get on the boat and head over to our next dive site. Our second site of the day is a spot called Sheridan's Caverns. As soon as I hopped in, I was blown away by the beauty. The visibility was as good as it gets, well over 100 feet, and I could already see a bunch of turtles off in the distance. Sheridan's Caverns is a site of collapsed lava tubes, which is where lava used to flow when there was an active volcano on site. However, over time they collapsed, creating openings for divers to swim through. These caverns were tall and wide, and it's crazy to think that at one point lava was flowing right through the center of it. Inside these lava tubes I found a lot of resting sea turtles, including this guy right here coming in from the top. This was also a great spot for schools of fish to congregate, and as you can see, this site definitely had larger fish than the last dive site. The fish were so distracting I almost missed this crazy encounter with another sea turtle. This girl swam right up to my camera, before turning away at the last second. It's not every day you get face to face with a sea turtle, which made this encounter even better. Moving on, this dive site had no shortage of crown of thorns sea stars. The dive master eventually took things into her own hands as she flipped this one over. You can see this sea star was actively feeding on this coral head, and although this is just a temporary fix, it helps the reef little by little. It seemed like every turn I made I was having yet another awesome encounter. The sea turtles at this site were some of the friendliest I've ever seen. It's safe to say that they know they're protected in these waters. Watch this girl right here swim up to me and even give me a high five. This site has turned out to be one of the best I have ever explored, because everywhere we went there was something new to film. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. Out of all the Hawaiian islands, Kauai isn't the one best known for its diving. But after what I experienced today, I can safely say it's one of the best diving destinations in the world. Kauai's turtle population is higher than any other island, and the underwater structures are insane. We all like to think of this island as a paradise for hiking, laying on the beach, and exploring the mountains. But Kauai is a diver's paradise as well. I can't wait to come back here in the future and explore some more dive sites. Did you enjoy this diving adventure? Subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss out on new adventures.